This is a collection. I think a lack of perception is, in a way, an elevated perception, insofar as we would consider mental clarity to be a thing so stupendous as to change/transcend. So, in a way, you're right. There is something after death. Nothing. We presuppose conjecture in asking questions about death, because we cannot answer any of them. To me, it is less arrogant to construct a phenomenology of death with only intricately thought-out answers, instead of revealing impossible doubts we already acknowledge. Whatever comes, it will be the same or different. Best use your imagination, Laurel. You are here. At least there is powerful irony in wasting your life to recognize a mythos. I'm simply saying, as Socrates explored also, that death could indeed be heaven, or as much the same could be nothingness. The contrast between having senses and suddenly not seems like an amazingly revealing thing, even if we are not aware of what it reveals to us. Lack of perception/awareness could be a heaven unto itself. Mythology is one and the same with religion, which is not necessarily a bad thing. As it is mostly guesswork, one can only apply what seems most reasonable. Heaven to me is something like a thing completely different from life on earth. Life on earth is ruled by individual perception, at least in many cases, ergo, and so on. Lack of perception is a way most transcendent for me personally. The heaven of dogma is merely IMO, being aware of the life you previously led, and in either case, a la Blake, heaven is a hell, hell is a heaven. This, of course, depends upon awareness of the life we have led. Better, worse, etc. Only qualm with my own conjectures and theories is that if the life is pure removal from everything, well, then the universe itself has no moral, standard, reward, punishment, etc. Which in its own way is beautiful, though, because it means that morality is particular to the human race. Via Pascal, we see that he has fallen from a higher virtue that once was his. Our sense of dignity, right, wrong, make us immortal in any case. So the ultimate punishment, anyway, would be to be completely savage and amoral, because while alive you had lost your chance to live forever and live instead merely through your nasty imprint on the world. This all sounds probably very confusing as I am typing on my phone, but it is a subject that deserves thoughtful consideration. Amen. The fascination with voids. Those are all a poet can hold on to, in my opinion. Nothing to strike a voice with humility like a sum of infinite nothingnesses, doubt's unflattering correspondent. The poet, especially living in eternity, if he or she is a true one, needs to feel their feet on the ground without taking root. Where they are, they will remain, and spread their eternity in oddest places, fix themselves in it. Voids help us as poets remember how to move one step, that even to take one step would be a dialectical leap of faith for the spirit. We collect those notions of doubt as we pass, situation to situation, all those voids, so that we make speak their difficulty, and sitting down in our static universe of words, their true place, though perhaps not origin. Well, fair enough, maestro. Tick a center out of melancholy. Make it spring out sounds, each a frequent of the bar, milling fathers away from home, centering themselves with drink, going high, way out with Smitty to the ball game, a torn cap slump perchingly on the head, fasteners to cash cows, little tickets, hands made of knuckles, broken flask. During highlights, made film, watched film, broke and needy. This guy judges, fool him. Bring outside every cuticle's curl, make it big, all of it, big as the one hide of the moose, a rug now in a fancy house, a head perched with glass eyes above the fireplace. Moose head. Moose head, he screams, the animal from the depths of his death. Look at all that nothing. It's too big to not mean something, you might say. That's just a game of logic, isn't it? There's a given place for this. No system of philosophy could beat the solar system, much less the universe. My friends, have you an ability to see the vast collective of stars and ascribe not a thing? That, my dears, is the greatest majesty. That, moreover, we as people cannot do this ourselves, and see the honor in that delicate, huge nothing. That all can be and be and be without a second thought as to its purpose. To be just, well, nothing. A big fucking nothing at that. The volume is the universe's ace in the hole. That we are so small and have yet a precondition towards meaning is what separates us from the universe. Could this dichotomy then be the system? This is a quote from Soren Kierkegaard. Fire broke out backstage in a theater. The clown came out to warn the public. They thought it was a joke and applauded. He repeated it. The acclaim was even greater. I think that's just how the world will come to an end. It's general applause from wits who believe it's a joke. And this is me. The fool comes on stage in full regalia, painted nose, oversized shoes. He tells them all that the world is over. They applaud. He repeats with severity, "Not a thing left to do but pray, people. The world's coming to an end. The apocalypse. How ridiculous." The audience applauds, guffaws, resolves into a maw of cheers, shaking the ground more perhaps than the crust of the planet fracturing apart. Then the fools say, "Outside of this tent, the world is ash and gloom. We are doomed," he says, somewhat more serious, his head dipping into shadow from the stage lights. What could have made a difference no longer will. Say goodbye to yourselves. Say hello to dead loved ones when you get wherever. Me, I'm going to find a safe spot. Call up the family. Tell them I'm going to go live on the moon before you see the world as fire and rubble, as I said. A moment elapses. The audience, well, they boom with laughter and throw roses at the fool until the moon falls smack dab on the tent, promptly crushing everyone inside and everything and everyone for miles. The fool gets on before it having niched a few layers out in the moon just the size of his body, for when it fell to get him, the giant spacecraft. But really he died with the rest, dreamed with us all of the moon capturing us away from this. This is the last gift to us, the eternal simulation of a rescue, when we're just embedded in the ground like a crushed spider in the carpet by God, who then is left alone in peace to make a new earth, where people took life not so for granted, salvage meaning from the fool even, make the quick disappearance of all life appear when it happened, a long separation by each finger of each person from their grip on the planet, by their cold dead hands. That seemed a better motto for the valuing of life than guns. People on Earth had a tendency to do that, to enclose the heart in things less abashed or impractical, such as when holding each moment close as a firearm. The Blue Creator, Rugged Roy, would make sure this time to make people love the sky. The Blue Creator would start at the basics. The Blue Creator would make all men fools. In the world itself, more splendor than the handsomest head, the more it thought. The skill of life to this new people would be just a love for a vastness never to be acquired, requited, loved back. They know what sacrifice had made them, being each one not just the image but the soul of the Creator. They the creation and place for the soul, a vamping clown to listen to for news. Since that is at its base what is most honorable to recognize, that we are each of our souls mere players, clowns, to that which is so goddamn hugely unassuming. The Rugged Roy would give up his post, leave this new world his, her, its better expression, and most importantly, let the